everybody, how y'all doing? How you doing? Welcome to Jarrett Talk Interview, as I interview people that have their own YouTube channel or business. Tonight, on a Wednesday night, I have a very special guest. She um never been on my channel. She's first time ever been on my channel. I've been her. Seen her on well. I've been on to her channel a few times, and she kind of she getting it, yo. She getting it, but she do interviews, everything. I mean everything. So I want to bring to the stage Queen Alchemy. How you doing today? How you doing?
Peace. I'm beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Thank
So
you
please
for
tell the people
having
that.
me.
So please tell the people who do not know about you how you start your channel, how the name come from, everything else.
Okay. Well, I am Queen's Alchemy, and my name comes from the fact that, first of all, my channel is about health, wellness, holistic healing um, of the mind, body, soul, and spirit. I do a little bit of everything on my channel. I also connect with content creators just like Jarrett. And we do also do panels on my channel that gives you the opportunity to learn more about health and wellness. Um, different view sites is called a collective build, where you can have different outlooks of how health and wellness looks. And Queen's Alchemy, the name of the channel itself came from uh, transformation. Alchemy means transformation.
Mhm.
So that's why I chose the name, because this is what it's about: transforming your health, reclaiming your health, reclaiming your mind, soul, body, spirit, reclaiming it. So reclaiming it, transforming it, alchemy. So Queen, and I'm the Queen. So that's how it came about. That's why Queen's Alchemy is in existence. What
What,
else?
ma- what what made you start your journey on YouTube?
Um, well, I had I was a YouTube watcher. I just watch YouTube all the
Mhm.
time. And being on YouTube, watching YouTube, I ran across this YouTube content creator, and a lot of people came through the same creator. You probably know who I'm getting ready to say, Dodash. Uh, so seeing Dodash, I actually just was watching her on general because, she just was, I don't know how she even came across my feed. Something, she must have been talking about something that I was talking about at one time. And then she started talking about how much money she made on YouTube, which I didn't know you could even make money on YouTube. I didn't
Mhm.
even know that that was a thing. But she started talking about the numbers she was saying was seeming unreal.
Mhm.
And the more I started looking at YouTube and watching all these other content creators and people rolling out that they making money too, I was like, wait a doggone minute now. I said, everybody can't be making money on YouTube, and it can't be that easy, because she made it appear that, just get on here. Right now is a time where you just need to get on here and do your thing. And she said, just do it. Don't worry about what you look like. Just get up here. You don't need all that editing and all that stuff. It's out the door. That's the old school way. The new school way is this. Don't worry about what you're gonna say. Just get up here and do it. So I was like, she had kept saying that, right? That was her routine words. I had been watching her, for a few weeks or even a month probably. She was still saying the same thing. And so one day I was just sitting on my couch and I was watching her, as I was watching everybody. And I was trying to prepare to get on the YouTube, because I was going to do it. But I had to have all these things in place, everything lined up, like I got to have this and I got to have that and I got to do this. And your hair got to be looking like this. And you got to, like you got to look a certain way. You got to be a certain way. And I wanted to be able to implement every little thing. And then she just was like, just do it. I was like, I
So
picked
you
up
were
my
taking
phone.
so you were taking notes when Dad was telling you everything about it. So
And
was
all the
he
other
the first?
content creators too. I was like, it was her, but all the other content creators, I took all their information and I was compiling this thing of what I needed to do. But when she said, just do it, like just this random day, I was watching YouTube and she was there and she popped up.
Mhm.
I literally cut her off, pulled my phone out, and recorded a video. And I was like, "Am I gonna put this video?" And I remember she said, "Don't edit, don't do anything." And I literally was laying sideways on the couch like this with the phone like that. If you can see my first video, it's literally still up on the channel. And and I was talking and I started talking about how because I already told you I had a mentality that I was going to do it. I just didn't know when I was going to press the record button pretty much. And I end up pressing that record button and the rest is kind of history. I mean, and in my first video was called DoDash Made Me Do It. So
So, he asked you. I mean, you answered my second question. My next question: do you edit
oh,
your videos? Do you
I
edit
do.
your videos?
I do. That video, I
How
did
long
not.
did it take to edit your videos?
Um, depending on the length of the video or how much, in the beginning, it used to take me hours upon hours because I
Mhm.
was trying to make it be perfect and I did a lot of um uh and I had a lot of those to edit out of the video. And so it took me longer, and then I didn't know how I wanted to put it together. I didn't know how it was supposed to look, as far as YouTube go. Because I used to edit videos all the time for my kids' games and whatever they did. I had a whole because I have a whole video collection of things that I did. I know how to edit. It just
Mhm.
was about editing for YouTube, how what that was supposed to look like to make people want to watch your content. You know what I mean? For me though, now today I probably can edit in about depending on about 2 hours tops. But, and that's just putting in and that's just like a constant rewatch, making sure it's fluid. Um, hour if it's very minimal things to edit out. Mhm.
What was it harder? Oh 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 oh, put that way. Well, not that the short don't count. Okay, I asked all these asked the question a lot. The short do not count. But
Mm-mm.
what is the longest video or live have you done, and what the shortest video and live have you done under, since you got on
Longest live,
or video?
um, my longest live
Mm-hmm.
and it was just physically me actually being live and not like a
Mm-hmm.
restream,
Mm-hmm.
would be 7.5 hours.
Okay.
And that was recent. That was in the last month. That was last month.
What about the video part?
Longest video is probably 21, 22 minutes, something like that.
Same question for the short ones, the short videos and the short
Okay, so
live.
for the shorts, my shortest short is 15 seconds. My longest short is a minute 12 seconds.
Okay.
And my minute 12, I don't
Not
like
the
it,
short,
so
not the
that's why I
short
know
short.
the
I'm talking
amount.
about between 2 and 5 minutes. You ever do that?
Oh, what's
That
my
kind of short video?
shortest video? The
Yes.
shortest video? Oh, my
Yes.
shortest video,
Yes.
actual video
Yes.
is
The
probably
short video and live.
three shortest video is probably three um about 3 minutes. My shortest video, actual video is about 3 minutes. Because shorts just start being able to be 3 minutes. So my shortest video came in probably a little over 3 minutes. My longest, my shortest live would be probably a half hour, 45 minutes.
Hmm. Do you ever, when you go, before you hit the go live button, do you ever sit? You ever sit and think before you say it's gonna be a good live? You ever talk to yourself and say, "Hey, it's gonna be a good live," or how the live go, or you just go live and don't worry about what matter with. I mean, what going in the chat.
Well, sometimes I have a pre-thought about
Mm-hmm.
what I'm gonna talk about,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as hitting the button, I just always just hit the button. And when it start, I've never actually really even thought about what I was gonna say, not even on my first live. I just was like, whatever, however it comes, it comes.
Were you kind of nervous when you started your channel?
Was I nervous?
Yep.
I think I had a lot of anxiety because I didn't feel like I was doing a lot of things right. I wanted to get it right to begin
Mm-hmm.
with, so I didn't have to have all these learning curves, but
Mm-hmm.
I realized that you're gonna have a lot of learning curves because I thought I knew everything. I thought because I did so much studying, I thought I knew not everything, but I thought I knew enough to make myself to be out there. So when it took me so long to get to, you know, to get to 50, to get to 60 subscribers, 70 subscribers, and I was like, what in the world is going on? Like I got and at that time I was putting out video behind video, in the beginning you could see them. They were coming out every day to every other day. Like it was only the space between my videos might have been a day. Two would have been pushing it. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that not believe that my stuff is not going, like it's not moving." But it eventually did, and when it did, it took off.
So what the when you hit the dot, if you got questions for Queen, let her know. I'll put it up on the screen. Um, if you weren't doing YouTube, what was your other opportunity if you weren't doing this?
Before I started YouTube, I always like I don't want to call it YouTube is though I see it as my business because it definitely
Mm-hmm.
is a side hustle for me, that I'm building up to get to a point where it's going to be lucrative and on a lot of levels. That's what my mindset is for it to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I was thinking about a way to make some money, I'm previously was in real estate, so I was looking at rental arbitrage through Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was looking at before YouTube. But I just because I was in real estate previously, I honestly looked at it and was like, it seemed like it's easy. It seems, but I knew it was going to be the same kind of headaches I was having before. I just felt like it was, so I just didn't really want to deal with that. So I kind of stepped away. But I did. I set up almost the full business for it. I learned everything I needed to know. I just didn't really want to press the go button on that. But I did it on YouTube and I started moving and I like what I do is YouTube is a therapy for me on top of, it's almost like a hobby, but in
Mm-hmm.
addition to that, it's definitely a side hustle, extra income. You know what I mean? So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Do
it's
you
not
love?
incoming
No.
yet. It's not incoming yet, but it's coming.
Do you love what you do? Be honest. I'm not putting you on the spot or anything. I'm not putting you on the hot seat. Not yet, but
Here on
I'm
YouTube,
willing a little bit. But do you love what you do?
here on YouTube or in
Yes.
life? Oh, on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes, I do love what I do on YouTube.
What the, if you were? and I've seen this on your channel. But if you have a dream interviewer, a dream guest, who would it be
Who would be the dream guest on my
that you never
channel?
had on your channel? That you never had on your channel. I know you have a lot. I know what you had told me behind the scenes. You had 30 amazing um, guests on your channel. But who's the number one dream guest you never had on your channel that you wanted to be on your channel?
Mm, I never thought about it. I never thought about it, and I haven't thought about, oh, if I can have this person, I would love to have this person. I never did that before. I never thought about it. That's a good question, though. Great question. I'll
Renee
start
got
thinking about it.
Renee got a question for you.
What what would be the one thing that make you consider stopping YouTube? Well, Renee, I don't know that at this point where I'm at right now, I don't see myself stopping YouTube. I feel like I'm making strides and I'm growing. and I'm growing at a rapid rate in comparison to what I've seen and heard in the past. So I think that right now I couldn't tell you that I can't think of something that would make me wait a minute. Let's put a scenario on the table.
Hmm?
If YouTube stopped, I think I still would do it even if YouTube did not pay anymore. But
Mm,
if YouTube stopped paying, I think it would definitely slow me down to an extent. Like it would make me go as hard because again, this is part of my retirement,
mm,
what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm building branches from this. I'm not just depending on YouTube AdSense, but I do plan on growing it large enough that where that will make a difference too. That would be an income as well. But that's not just all I'm looking at, looking at all the avenues and opportunities you have from YouTube itself. So
if you had, I do you think are you thinking of starting up a second channel, or are you gonna put everything on on the queen throne on your channel on the on the
That's a
queen throne? Let's call
that's
it
a
that
good
way.
question. It's kind of funny you asked me that question right now because um, recently someone was just talking about having an alternate channel or having a second channel,
Mm,
and then also it came up twice. So and now this is the third time, so it's almost like confirmation for me because the first time they brought it up, they was like, talking about that you should have an alternate channel just in case for whatever reason. And then the other suggestion was, you should start a channel because I was saying they always ask me to do, create things that don't have anything to do with my channel. Like, can you show me how to do like the restream thing, right? Or the
mhm, mhm,
technical stuff, or can you show me how to do this? Or can you do a video on this, on how to do these things that has to do with operating and functioning on YouTube. And that's not what my channel is about. And so I don't want to take Queen's Alchemy and make her a technical channel when we really need to focus on that holistic health and keep, reclaiming your life. You get what I mean?
mhm,
So that's where I want to be, and that's where I want to keep it. So I'm thinking about that channel because now that you'd asked me again, now I think I'm gonna have to do it where I might just have it where it is about the technical about YouTube and how to grow on YouTube and because I mean, I do have a story, right? How to hit 1,000 subscribers in 6 months, how to, be monetized in 6 months. That's what people, that's all over over the internet, and then people be hitting
mhm.
numbers. So I'm gonna take that other channel and probably put something like that out there.
I mean, the reason that people asking that question is because just in case something happened to your main channel, and you always have a back. I don't think you all gotta
Hmm.
have a backup channel. That's why people ask me that question. I said,
Yeah.
if something wrong with your main channel, like shut down unexpectedly, you all have a backup. Like you always get stuff with your second channel.
Hmm.
That's why I would make sure you have a backup plan, so you don't want to
Hmm.
be losing all your work you done. That's
Yep.
why. But when you start your channel, doing your video, do you ever like watch them back and make sure that the live or the videos are going the way you want it?
You mean when I actually put out a video or
Yeah,
live?
after you posted your videos, well, you like run it back in the hey,
Absolutely.
this might be a good video or something. Like, do you ever like take notes after you get done
Mm-hmm.
posting the previous video or live and just like, oh, okay, I'm make it better.
Yep. I do that all the time. I watch as soon as I release the video, everything is scheduled. So except for most of my lives are scheduled too, but some of them, it's half and half. Some are scheduled, some is just I pop up on the screen, just I'm here, I'm live. But as far as the scheduled ones that I put on there for the channel itself for the recorded content,
Mhm,
I watch it when it releases because I want to see what you're seeing. Because I just saw it 100 times because I done edited it, I watched it back, but I didn't watch it on the YouTube screen. Does that make sense? So I watch it that way, just so I
okay.
could see what you're seeing. because what I saw when I was editing don't mean that's what you see when you're watching it. And a lot of times it's not what I thought I did. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, I didn't get that out, but I'm definitely nitpicking. Like, I didn't get that out. Oh my gosh. I said, my eye crooked on that side, I said, oh my God, my hair was sticking out like this. Like all these different things that you don't
Right.
notice when you're doing it, but then you end up noticing it later on, or you notice that, the angle of the camera, or so I critique everything, and then sometimes I sit there and I'll rewatch everything. I rewatch my shorts, I rewatch everything. I do have another channel, and I rewatch them from that channel so that it'll count like watch hours, so I'm not just watching it from my channel.
And speaking of the second channel, what's the name of the second channel? If it's okay, you want to put it out, and people can just
Oh no, that channel's gonna change the name. But I
what's the
never
original
you
name?
never you never see it on there. It's I don't even remember. Let me see. Hold on, give me a second.
Take your time.
Hold on, I'm tripping now because I'm thinking about it. I have several channels actually, but this is the one that
How
I
many do
have.
you have? How many you have?
Um, I don't have channels that I use. No, they just
Okay, they're
because
not
you have an
active.
email address that you have a channel. So
Okay. Good.
those have they're all just me. So
Okay.
that's just so health and wellness guru.
Okay. Okay.
But that's the channel. It wasn't health and wellness guru. It was just a regular channel too. But I changed it to health and wellness guru. But that's the channel that has all the recorded content from like my kids' schooling and stuff like that. So you go on there, you're gonna see the marching band, you're gonna see some baseball, you're gonna see some basketball, you're gonna see, what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
not, it's private, it's unlisted, so you have to have a link to see it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
said
Yeah.
it's not public. Okay. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
understand.
it's not for everybody to see because
Okay.
it's for my kids, so
I
definitely.
understand.
Mhm.
I understand. Um.
Mhm.
Uh, well, speaking of kids, to keep brought it up, do you see? Do you see? Do you see them starting their own YouTube channel,
Mm-mm.
even though they get older? You want them to start their own channel and start their own doing their own path, or you just want be kids, be
Only
kids?
one I could see doing it. I have twins, and I see one of the twins.
Mm,
She might possibly, with a question mark, do that. The other three children, nope. I don't think they have any interest in it.
mm,
No. Mm-mm.
okay.
I do a
What
lot
the,
of things that my kids go with one eyebrow up, like. And then when I make it to places like this, like I got 1,000 subscribers. I was on live, and my children were all in the car. Not all of my
mm,
children, but most of my children were in the car, and my
mm,
grandkids. And we were talking, and then I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for the super chat." And they was like, "Super chat, like what that mean?" And
oh,
I
they
was
didn't
like,
know what
"Oh,"
it was.
I said, "You didn't
Oh, they
know?" I said,
didn't.
"I'm monetized." And they
Right.
was looking like because they not into it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not
Right.
something I didn't call them up and be like, "Oh God, guess what, y'all? I got my." I didn't. It was like this is my celebration was with the people who understood that. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Y'all
Yeah.
understand that. So that's like calling up somebody and be like, "Guess what? I got monetized on YouTube." And guess what? They'll be like,
YouTube. What is
"Mm,
that?
what does that even mean?" Right? So same thing with my kids, right?
Oh
So
my
that's just
goodness.
like whatever. Peace and
Okay.
love, everyone. Welcome into the live. Thank you
What
for
the
being here.
what the pro with the con being on your channel, and the second question is what the do you have any advice for people that want to start their their YouTube journey?
Do I have any advice for someone wanting to start their YouTube journey? And is
Yes.
there any pros and cons to my channel?
Yes.
Okay. So first question was, do I have any pros and cons to my channel?
Yes.
I think all channels has their own pros and cons. And if I had to critique my own, I think I would probably say the definite pros is that I have a lot to talk about. A lot of subjects and a lot of things that I have not covered or even had an opportunity to put out there. Uh, I think the cons in this line of questioning would be, I don't know. Why is it always hard for somebody to pull out a negative? I don't know. I don't know what the cons are um to my channel per se. I'm pretty sure there is probably plenty, but I mean, in essence of what I think is a con, I think that I guess, not getting the content out there that I do have
Mhm.
for the channel would be that. So that's what I think.
Okay, question.
Oh, the other second part of the question. Um, any advice?
Hmm.
So if I was to advise somebody on starting a YouTube channel of their own, I would tell them to make sure that they know what they want to do or have an idea, have several ideas. You don't have to be, I don't think it's required for you to have a niche or have a requirement for you to be able to have something that you want to do on your channel. But I think it's a good idea if you do know, that way you can focus around that. But I think if you don't have it, have several ideas of things that you can do on your channel. And, from just showing up and coming out and talking about you, talking about your life, talking about things that happen around you. If you're a great uh, artist, draw, I mean, do whatever you think you want to do if you want to start a YouTube channel. And then my other thing would be is once you start your YouTube channel, definitely dip in to areas of community. Start, you know, like this, collabing as soon as you can with someone else so people can get to see who you are. Show up, at all times that you can for on other channels. Make yourself known in those spaces, especially with things that you're interested in. So if you're interested in sewing, go to the sewing channels. If you're interested in cooking, go to the cooking channels. All cooking channels. Don't isolate it, right? So like I do vegan cooking on my channel, and I am not vegan, but I do vegan cooking on my channel. But I would go to all channels that do cooking because they do what I do. You get what I mean? They cook. Cook is the universal thing. So I would tell someone that, definitely look in those areas and kind of connect that way. And make sure you're connecting with people so you can build and grow that way. Because then their community will be, if they already like cooking, if you're connecting with people who already like cooking on someone else's channel, then more than likely you're going to have subscribers that's going to watch what you like, right? Peace and love, Jay.
Who was the very first, the very first get you had on your channel?
The very first
The
guest,
very first.
she right there. Kiss from Jay.
Oh, in that case, I'm about to get on. If y'all,
kiss,
if y'all got any questions,
kiss
if
from
y'all got
Jay.
any questions for Queen, let her know. I put it up on the screen. Um,
And actually, I do what I do because Jay created 20 questions with Jay. I don't know if you know that. She
mm-mm.
has this show where she does 20 questions with
Okay.
Jay. And her vision behind that, is that she interview you, and then in return she kind of passed the torch. You interview her, and then you continue to interview out into your community that you have so that we can build a bigger community. And this was her vision from the very beginning. Pretty much I'm the only one that took the torch, at least in the beginnings. People are starting to move the torch around a little bit more now, but
Mm-hmm.
literally I took the torch and I ran with it. And I turned mine into 20. You just turn it and spin it into what you want. Hers is 20 questions with Jay, mine is 22 questions with the Queen. And, I call it collab and grow, right? So I put a new name on it,
And mine's
same
like and
concept,
mine's
and put my own
15, so
spin
I'm
on it.
I'm, I'm doing that. Yeah, mine about 15, 20, something like that. So,
Hmm.
what it like doing the live or video? Do you ever look at the comments and see anything unusual? I mean, anything unusual, like a um somebody saying something that shouldn't be saying on in the comments, you ever delete them? Keep them or delete them?
I've never deleted a comment ever. I remember when I first started on YouTube and I was talking about it was negative to me because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like people were going to start they were kind of I felt like they were trying to discredit me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? From my own yes, period sis. Um and I felt like they were trying to discredit me. What I mean is I was talking about how, I told you I do like medicinal healing and,
Right.
talking about herbs and things that can, heal you, make you better, things like that. And I was talking about how I use honey as a for my allergies. I had a thing of honey and I was showing that I use allergies for my honey because I have to explain that another time, but I use honey for my allergies. And then they said, the person came in and was like, well, that's a myth that honey works for, allergies and this, I mean,
Mm.
like this whole thing, but like, I mean, they had a paragraph talking
Wow.
about how they studied honey and how honey was unpure and
Mm.
these beads that they using and this and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like you put this whole dissertation because I said I used honey for my allergies, but what it is you're discrediting, trying to discredit my experience.
Right.
When I kept reading it over, I didn't respond for months, like 2 or 3 months after that,
Wow.
and that was in the very beginning. I never even responded, and then every time I come around because, in your YouTube studio, unless you
Right.
respond or
Right.
delete, it keeps popping up. It was sitting there, and I read it one more time, but I was in a different place, and I had been on YouTube a minute, and I
Mm-hmm.
decided to respond. And they came back. They kept back firing, and I said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "I don't know how you can discredit someone's experience." I'm telling. They told me I was using it as a placebo. I said, "How?" I said, "So my allergies disappeared on a placebo because I made them. If I have that kind of power to create something to make it disappear that's causing the issue, then you know what I'm saying? Like it was this whole thing. So that was probably my biggest thing. And that was when I'm telling you this was probably in my first 6 weeks, 7 weeks on YouTube that I got that message. Yeah.
Wow.
Tried to
What?
discredit me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What year did you start your journey?
2024 of October.
Did you what year did you start your journey as watching TV on YouTube or as
Oh,
a
when I
content
watched
creator?
your TV on YouTube? Well,
Like
YouTube became
what
my
year did you
TV.
join YouTube?
Oh,
I'm put it, but what,
two
like for me, I
thousand.
joined YouTube in 2008, but I didn't actually start my journey in 2022. So what year did you join YouTube and what year
That's a
did
good
you start
question.
on your journey?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what year I started YouTube. I mean, watching YouTube or had a YouTube channel. Definitely, I want to say it's like 2011, something like that. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you in just 2 seconds.
Take your time take your time. Take
Look,
your
I
time.
want to
Let me
be
hurry.
accurate. I want to be accurate. Let's see. Um, I don't even know where to find that at.
Senior battle session.
Okay.
Senior battle session at the very bottom.
Okay. So this say 2018. So this is not right.
Okay.
This is this channel though. I guess this
Oh,
channel.
that channel.
This would be
Okay.
right because this is a rebranded channel. I used to have a. This used to be called University of Truth with a
Okay.
University of Truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a channel. So I did have a channel, but it was called that not because I used it as a channel, but because again, it was a holding space for my content that I used to do on Facebook. So I used to do lives on Facebook.
Okay. Let's talk about Facebook. What was the first live that you done over there? And
And
what made you start? What made you switch from Facebook Live to YouTube?
okay, so with Facebook, I did uh yeah, YouTube became the TV. Um Facebook, I did in 2000, late 2017 into like 2018,
Mhm.
and then I stopped. And then I came back, and then I used this channel. I watched my TV or whatever. That's what I called it because that's what I watched. At that point, I was all into YouTube. So that's my 2017 probably was the year. Definitely, I can clock that. YouTube probably became my TV solely. Probably almost everything I watched was on YouTube. So I have been a YouTube watcher for a very long time. But I stopped on Facebook for reasons. I let someone else jump into my head and get in my space and
Mhm.
cause me to not do, because even I don't know if you probably, I don't even know if we were connected in, but I was running Throwback Thursdays here on YouTube, and I was running
Mhm.
content from what I used to put up on. I used to do 22 minutes of truth, which never was
Mhm.
22 minutes ever. They ran about 45 minutes all the time. but but I ran them, and when I would listen to them back, I would be like, "Wow, I always had something to say." I always, because I got downloads. Things automatically they just come to me, and stuff. Things come to me, and I would just speak on it because I didn't have anywhere to release that information. So I would release it to. I created that to release that information. So, but I let
Oh,
somebody get in my way in my space. I allowed that to happen.
okay. What the what the I don't put it in what the easiest. What the easiest part being on YouTube and the hardest part being on YouTube?
The hardest part being on YouTube is really the restraints that you put on yourself because and I say that because I got this whole schedule, this whole idea of what I want everything to look like, how I want it to show up for me, and all of those things. And when they don't go that way, it feels hard. It feels like, okay, you're not meeting those goals, you're not hitting those spots. But someone once told me that whenever it's done, it's in divine timing. And so with the divine timing, I will say that a lot of times stuff come out in divine timing. I released a video today that's been in my phone for 3 weeks now, maybe longer. And yeah, it's been recorded. I just didn't
I was
put it
wondering why it's in your phone that long.
up.
Like why you holding out just that long then?
It's that's what I'm telling you. It's like this whole thing. So that's why I say that's the hardest part
Okay,
about
you
the
you were
YouTube
concerned
for
that it's
me.
gonna
Yeah,
happen.
because
Okay,
it's trying to keep that schedule. The
right, right.
easiest part is jumping on live. That's the easiest part. Jumping on
Okay,
live. If and whenever the opportunity presents itself, getting on live is probably the easiest part for me. It became the easiest part after I did my 42-day stretch of everyday lives challenge that I did. And so
okay.
I've kind of fell in love with going live. And so my content suffered. So that's why I sat there because I'm doing something else. Ah,
What
peace and
the
love, Renee and
what
Darius.
the what the when you can't was it hard for you to go live or was it like do you want to do shorts and videos first or you want to do videos and lives first before you got on?
Lives
Well,
were not even a thing for me. Like
mm-hmm,
that wasn't even on my spectrum. I wasn't even thinking about doing a live.
mm-hmm,
I got I mean, to that degree, I had done lives prior to the the challenge. I had done some lives,
mm-hmm,
right? But but it wasn't even part of like, oh, I'm gonna make this part of my thing I'm gonna do.
mm-hmm,
It wasn't. I was more focused on the content and having a system to it. I'm telling you, I had this whole thing planned out in my head. Like, okay, this day I'm gonna do it. As a matter of fact, I even created Monday was for this, Tuesday was for this, Wednesday was for this, Thursday was for this, and I was gonna release like that
Mhm.
and have every day that I have Foodie Fridays, Tech Tuesdays, where I did implement, you know, the technical part of YouTube into
Mhm.
it, but the health and wellness of your YouTube channel, because keeping it under my niche of what I do, health and wellness. Monday was motivational Mondays or
Mhm.
meditation Mondays, and Wednesday was raw Wednesdays where I fixed raw feet. I did it. I did it for 2 weeks, and then it just went out the door. Yeah, I'm saying, like, I have all these plans and of the things that I'm going to do, and I have a system to it and the way I'm going to do it, but it doesn't work out the way. That's why I said that's the hard part. Doing things the way you think you want to do it, and then having things set up the way you want to do it. Matter of fact, I have this trusty dusty, and I call it dusty because I don't use it as often as I probably should. This content planner
You
right
know I'm gonna
here,
get on you
and
that
it's
one.
and it's full. It's got stuff in there. It has
Okay.
things in there. It has ideas, but they're not implemented. Some of the stuff in there is recorded and on that phone right now.
So
Hmm.
that's one thing about it. If you when you go with, I know people might be in bed, it's sleeping time, but when you're in bed sleeping and some idea just random come out of the blue, do you ever get up in the middle of the night and write it down and it just have to immediately post it right away, or you just wait till you be completely ready to
I know what you're going to say. So
yeah.
no, I don't get out the bed at that time because sleep is very, 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 very slim to none when you're a YouTube content creator because you're doing a whole bunch of things. You're probably up on YouTube with other content creators who probably should be in the bed too. And you're on their live, or you're watching somebody else's content, or you're flipping through YouTube, or you're doing something till the wee hours of the morning because you honestly, truly, it's not because you don't want to go to bed and go to sleep. It's because some reason you wired, right? Because you got that screen in your face.
Mhm.
But when it comes to me jumping up and getting, oh no, if I'm asleep, I'm not jumping up. But if I do get up and something came to me, or I'm even already in the bed and something comes to me,
Mhm.
I take my recorder and I record my voice to what it is I wanted to say. What I wanted to do, and I just speak it out. Yeah. What's super weird, Slim Jim?
It's super wire that we
Oh,
made.
super
Super
wired. I thought
wire,
he said
yeah.
weird.
That
That
part.
part.
Yeah.
That part.
What the y'all got any questions? Let her know. Up and what I know you say that people was being super wire being on like on a period because they're trying to find good content. But when you don't have a good content, where do you go when you're trying to find if you don't have no idea what to post for the next video or live? What you have a place to go or
Mhm,
anything that
mhm.
you have to ask when your two friends for ideas?
Mm-mm.
If you're
I have a
playing,
personal assistant. I have a personal assistant. His name is Artemis. And Artemis, if I'm stuck on anything, I don't care what it is, I say to Artemis, I say, "Hey, Artemis, I need to do some content on health and wellness, and I want to focus on uh, the mind, or I want to focus on mental health. Can you tell me what um, some subjects that I could work on with that?" And Artemis will say, "Sure, Queen." And then Artemis puts it all out there, all the suggestions. And then I take those suggestions and I say, "Can you give me 50 titles to those suggestions and brief outlines?" And then Artemis will do so. And then I will look at those and see if I got any inspiration from anything that Artemis did. And if I get anything that I think falls underneath what I was thinking about, but I got a brain freeze on, I'll then ask Artemis after I think about how I want it to be, and I'll speak the whole thing out. This is what I wanted to say, I wanted to do, and this is what I wanted to look like. Can you put this in a bullet point for me so I can go ahead and record this video? And then Artemis does so. And that's
Is
it.
it before? Is this behind the scenes before you go live or video, or this is just
Mhm.
doing what you doing? What you doing
Lives
now?
are different. Lives is different because I still can have my for the lives. I still can have my bullet pointed, you know, guideline to
Hmm.
go through. But I never follow that. I don't know if you have been on any of my lives. I be all over the place. I do not follow a outline at all. And no, I tried it and I've done it. I've done it now. Don't get it twisted. I have
Hmm.
had the opportunity to do it. However, I just don't do it very well because I get all over the place and I'm reading the comments and reading it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be talking about this. And then I go from talking about that to talking about this, to
So
talking
you
about
just
that, to
going?
talking about
Oh,
this. So that's
okay.
lives. But when it comes down to my content and recording my content, in order for me not to be all over the place and have to edit, crazy edit, where I talked about this when it's supposed to have been the second thing I talked about and it was the last thing I talked about, and the middle thing that I talked about should have been the first thing, and I got to flip it around like that. That's when editing goes crazy. So I try to keep my outline in order because then that keeps the flow. Like that video today. I'm only referring to this video. So first of all, I want y'all to go watch it. Yeah, of course I do. I want y'all to watch it. Yeah, of course I want you to watch it. But I want you when you watch it to think about what I'm saying right now. If you pay attention, it actually flows. That's because I literally recorded it in sections. In sections. I recorded this. I talked about this. Peace and love, Renee. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for being here. Um, I record it in sections, and so I'll turn off the camera and I'll look at my notes, or the camera will be rolling. Then I put it back up and just keep talking. But I got to look at my notes, so that's kind of how it works. So
So
I know I'll keep the flow right. Hmm.
what the what the I know you say you love what you do, and there's nothing else you can. Yeah, there's nothing else you can do. But out of the entire out of the entire interviews have you done? Out of the entire interviews have you done? I'm be on that list on the 19th. I'm gonna be on
Yes,
that
you are.
list of
Yes, you are.
that entire list.
Yes,
But
you are.
who is your? I'm not say favorite because I don't know you don't take favorite, but who the best guest have you had on your channel?
I'm not going to answer that as a best guess. I'm going to answer this as based on uh, interaction
Yeah.
and reaction
Okay.
of everything on everybody.
Okay.
I have three that stand out to me. Actually, four that stand out to me. My very first interview with Ghana Africa Bound, which is Fatima,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm sure everybody know who Fatima is. And my interview with Alicia, that's not her name. That's not her name. Amisha, Creative Living.
Okay.
It went really well because it was actually, I think it was my second or third interview, and I think I was shocked because it flowed so well. So but it got a big reaction as far as what you would see. So that was Misha, a Creative Living, and then I will definitely have to jump from there. Oh, it's so many because I like New Views, New Heights. I like that interview because she talked like I like certain things because if people roll with like
Mm-hmm.
how I roll, it's like that kind of thing. But then I would have to go to as far as I'm stick to action and reaction. Anthony Holmes, 71. I know everybody know who
Oh,
he is. He is the
that
creator.
man's everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's the
well,
creator and songwriter and composer of the Are You Locked In songs and individual personal channel songs, my songs as well, quite a few of those. Um, and and then my other uh, recent one that I really, really, really enjoyed because of the energy, but also it was enjoyed by the crowd. And I'm just talking about interaction during the live. You know what I'm saying? It may not have those many views, but I'm talking about interaction in the live, and that would be Slim Jim Longfoot. I think
the
he's still in
man
the
who I
chat.
just interviewed the first of the year. The man who I just interviewed the first of the year. The
Yeah, so
man,
I
yes,
think he's still in
Longfoot.
here.
Um, as we leave out of here, um, what you got any final words and remarks as we leave today?
Well, first of all, Jared, I want to tell you that I got my eye on you because I really liking what you're doing over here on your channel. Yes, we got to do another interview, Jay. I think it's time. I think it's time. I think it's time. It's really, really time.
You have to come. You got to come to me first. You got to go to her first. Yeah, you got to
Jay,
come. You got
Jay,
to
he
come to
wants
me
you on
first.
here first. um, but um, when I said, and I'm sorry, Jay is my very first interview, so I apologize. But when I was talking about
No
first interview,
worries.
I was talking about
No worries. I'm glad messing
on
with
my own.
y'all.
I feel like Jay was holding my hand at that
I
time.
don't
So
mess with
y'all
y'all.
don't get it twisted. It was definitely Jay was my first interview. It was it was Fatima was my scheduled interview. Jay scheduled that interview with her and me. So that was different. That was her holding my hand, put me on the map. All right. So
Oh, but that there,
Jay,
that's what
Jay,
we're
I got
trying.
that wrong, sis.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But if I was also, I want to also leave you with this. I want to say thank you so much for having me on your channel. Thank you
Mhm.
for just being out here, just putting yourself out here. I mean, I see you, and actually, believe it or not, until I came over to your channel to get the information for for the interview to share it,
Mhm.
I didn't even know how many subscribers you had because I thought you were out there, because I mean, your content, because of what you're doing over here. You know what I mean? So you showing up large and in charge. So keep doing that. Keep doing that, brother.
I
Keep doing
appreciate that. I appreciate that. If you
that.
got any more questions before we leave out of here, drop them in. So, I'm finna drop drop out of here. Thank you for coming on my channel. I
Yes.
enjoy your I really enjoy your content,
Thank
and
you.
I will definitely be there on the Thursday the
The
19th,
19th
and
at
we're gonna have
7:42.
fun. We're gonna have fun. Trust me,
We
we're
are
gonna
gonna
have
have
fun.
fun.
I'm gonna have I'm gonna have my one of my mods still gonna be there. Will be there in my mod. So we're gonna have a little fun, y'all.
Yep.
So,
You'll be
but
able
yeah,
to share it out to your channel, okay?
I
So you'll be
appreciate
able to,
that. So, and
yes,
oh yeah, thank.
absolutely.
By the way, thank you for the thumbnail because like I said, I'm not good at doing thumbnails. I definitely need someone who is very good. I don't say good, but who can put them, like put them together sometimes. Cause I have not made a thumbnail since I started doing this interview channel. So that's why I had to have someone to do a thumbnail for me. So
Yeah.
when I do an interview, I don't have to somebody make it for me, put it up for me. So
Well, I'm not for hire, but everybody keep your eyes open. If you do like the thumbnails that I do, then I'm not for hire, but I am going to have it as an incentive. So make sure you keep your eyes open for that coming up. So if you really want me to help you with your thumbnails, then
yes, ma'am.
you will take me up on this incentive. Okay, but it's coming up the ropes. So I'm not gonna
Okay.
talk about it too much, but definitely.
I, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'll see you on Thursday the 19th.
Yes, sir.
And what time should I be back there?
15 to 20 minutes before 7:42, whatever that runs. What's that
Okay,
about?
it'd be
Is that 22?
7. I think it'll
22.
be 12:15.
7:15. 7:15 sound good
7:15.
to me. Sound good to me.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right,
All right.
I see you soon.
All right. Peace and
All right.
love, everyone. Thank you
Um,
again. Peace and
all right.
love. Peace and love.
All right, everybody. That's Queen, and I am thankful for having her on my channel. It was a great interview. It was a great interview, and I got to know her more and more and more. So I'm glad to do that, and I would return return the favor to her channel on the 19th of June. So you look out for that on Queen. So at 7:42, which is I have to be backstage at 7:15, 7:20, something like that. So yeah, appreciate for that. Um, Kick with Jay, I want you to email Kick with Jay, email me. I want to get you on my channel so I will get the I need to check out your channel. I seen your channel, but I wanted to do an interview with you. So if you're available, let me know. Email me, and I will tell you the time that I'm actually going live every day. So I'll see that. So and the next interview will not be until July 12th. The person I'm going to have the, on my channel will be not only now the one, the only, the source who actually helped me to get the 2K on the bit channel. So I'm gonna have the source on the 12th of July. So that'll be at 8 o'clock Saturday on July 12th. Put that on your calendar, and that'll be good. The next and the following interview of July will be it was Zia Dad, which I did an interview with him in the first when I first started my channel, but it was on the YouTube app, but it was not on StreamYard. So put that on your calendar. That'll be on July 28th. July 28th at 8 o'clock. That'll be 5 p.m. California time. So let's do that. And I appreciate all of my peoples. Thanks to my moderators. I'm definitely gonna put Nate back in over there. So I see y'all on the 19th on Queens. I'll be on other people. So thanks for everybody coming by. I see y'all Friday morning on the Bit channel. Help me to get the 2K 2500. Get this to 300, y'all. I appreciate that. I love y'all. I see y'all Friday. I see y'all Friday morning. Bye, and Peace.